Welcome to the Jesus Passage Communique. Regularly, I would like to send you information about each passage in the Jesus Passages to help you understand and apply it to your life and to see how you can use information in the Jesus Passages to encourage and help those you know. Every time you receive a communique, we'll be trying to address a particular question that Jesus answers either in his teaching or in his life. Today, I'd like for us to look at passage number 1. And in passage number 1, we ask a very fundamental question. Was Jesus some last-minute solution that God came up with to send him to earth to bail the earth out of his problem? In reality, just the opposite is true. The coming of Christ was well thought out. In passage number 1, we begin by looking at Genesis chapter 12, where God gives the promise to Abraham for the nation of Israel. And he concludes that Abrahamic covenant by saying this, "And Abraham, in you, all the nations of the world will be blessed." Every person who ever lived on planet Earth somehow will be blessed by the coming of the seed of Abraham, which is the coming of Christ. That's why in Galatians chapter 3, 2,200 years later, the Apostle Paul says that the Abrahamic covenant, that Jesus Christ blessed the world and fulfilled that part of the promise by his coming, by his life, his death, his burial, and resurrection. My friends, think about it. Over 4,000 years ago, the God of heaven knew you were coming. The God of heaven sent his Son to bring life and salvation to you and everyone who believes. So you ask yourself, does God know me? Does God really care about me? Am I some speck on the ocean of humanity where millions and billions of people exist and I am forgotten? No. God knows you, he created you, he sent his Son to die for you, and he is begging for you to know him better. The story of Jesus, especially through the Jesus Passages. You know, the Word of God was true then, and the Word of God is true today. The question is, am I allowing it to be true in my life? You know, I was talking to a girl one time, and her dad had died of cancer. And it was a tragic situation, but yet through his death, she and other members of her family became believers in Jesus. I remember doing the marriage counseling with her and preparing her for that great day when all of a sudden her eyes just sort of glazed over and I had lost her. And I turned to her and I said, "Where are you? What are you thinking about?" And she said, "You know, I was just reflecting on my dad. And I thought to myself, if my dad hadn't died, I wouldn't be here today with you." My friends, there's a God in heaven. He has revealed himself in Jesus. He is actively involved in your life, and he cares for you more than you ever dreamed.